Hey, what's up guys? Outcast Anime coming at you again with a new video talking about the Vasto Lordes and fullbringers in Bleach. I've been doing a lot of Naruto videos on my channel, pretty much all the videos I've been doing, and I wanted to get some different animes on the channel. So why not Bleach? Because it's coming back in the anime and the new chapter's coming out recently. Why not get some Bleach in there, alright? Well, talking about that, going right into the theory, we know that, coming from the Can't Feed Your Own World light novels, that fullbringers are attacked by hollows in their own mother's wombs because of that they have pieces of a Soul King inside of them. That being said, with that gives ample reasoning that, of course, hollows are going to attack them because pieces of the Soul King, immense Ryoku or Ryatsu, I forget which one it is properly, inside of them, of course. They want it to consume it. Mothers that survive, their child develops hollow-like powers. We also know that Vasto Lordes, at least from what we've been told and been able to infer from other hollows like Shaolin Kufang, a member of Grimdust Fraction, they understand that Vasto Lordes, from their knowledge, are not made from work. They just happen to exist. Selectively chosen, made into Vasto Lordes. Now, I personally don't think it's just random luck of the draw. For me, I think it is something a bit different. Here's my theory. It's a little bit of a wild theory. I've never met anybody else that shares this theory with me, but here's my theory. Those children that have the pieces of the Soul King inside of them, or fullbringers, when they die, if they don't go to the Soul Society, when they're not, sent to the Soul Society, they're being consoed through Shinigami, their souls, much like every other soul in Bleach, eventually will decay, and the soul chain will shorten and shorten and shorten. They go to becoming a demi-hollow, and then a hollow. Well, of course, you have a piece of Soul King inside of you, you are not going to become a normal hollow. So my theory lies that those fullbringers that have the pieces of the Soul King inside of them, when they die and they become souls, they become Vasto Lordes. And this is kind of a bit of a stretch connection here, but we know from Ulquiorra's light novel, or Ulquiorra's part of one of the light novels, that he describes waking up as a hollow as he's in this dark pit. He just woke up. He was already a Vasto Lorde. He never had to put any work into getting it. And that was that. Now, when I read that, when I took that information in, I took that to either mean one of two things. First one meaning that Ulquiorra was a hollow at one point, and he eventually found the secret to becoming a Vasto Lorde, and it just completely changed personality. It kind of erased him from his memories. That's very unlikely, but it could be possible. The other one being that but the other one being that when he died, he was just became a Vasto Lorde, and that was that. And who else would become a Vasto Lorde, such a powerful hollow, without some enhancements from the Soul King? There's no way, in my mind, that just a random soul becoming a hollow just becomes a Vasto Lorde. That makes no sense. And we've seen that there are spiritually aware humans, like in the world of Bleach. And if it was like, oh yeah, if you're spiritually aware, you become a Vasto Lorde, there'd be way too many Vasto Lordes to count. Should go off like not even the main cast, they go off the main cast friends. All their buddies that are spiritually aware in at least some way. And in my scenarios, if it was that simple, if it was that easy, the Shinigami would know. They would know, okay, well, these spiritually aware humans, we need to make sure we monitor them and make sure they don't become hollow, because if they do, then you're screwed when we have more Vasto Lordes to deal with. Especially when we get told from Hitsugaya that Vasto Lordes are incredibly dangerous, that if Aizen would have 10 or more, he could flatten the Soul Society. Now we see that with Aizen, he doesn't really need 10, he just needs himself, he's that strong. But what I'm talking about is, yeah, it's, I think there has to be something going on there. So my thought process is either as a baby when either the mother dies and the baby dies. I know this is pretty graphic topics here, guys. The baby and the mother die from the hollow attack, and they begin. The soul isn't eaten. The mother's soul gets eaten. The baby's soul doesn't get eaten. It grows up and it becomes a hollow. That's the Lord. And that to me is a little more unfathomable in my opinion, because it's just if a hollow kills mother and a soul king baby, you just can eat the soul. This hollow might get a power up, and it might even bump him up from like low level hollow to Gillian immediately, or from Gillian to who knows? That's just that's headcanon. But my theory goes, these people, they're born, and whether they develop their powers or not, like someone like Tsukishima or the other peoples of execution, or they don't develop their powers at all. They don't really notice it, I mean, it says that they're eventually going to awaken their powers, and they might. You never know. Sometimes just, they live their lives. They kind of have these maybe weird appearances. They kind of like see things or hear things or seem to be attracting objects to themselves. Who knows? They don't have their powers. A hollow senses them, attacks them, and kills them. Or they just die of natural causes. Ulquiorra, when he was a human, he was walking down the street one day and a piano fell on him, or a steel beam, who knows. Something happened to him. He dies, and then the soul just sits there and waits and waits and waits and waits and waits and waits, and he becomes a hollow. And instead of becoming a normal hollow, he becomes a Vasto Lorde. The soul gets taken to Mundo and immediately becomes a Vasto Lorde. That to me makes sense, because they would explain why there's so few Vasto Lordes in the world, because not everybody has these pieces of Soul King inside of them, and the fullbringers are already ready after the dead. We've seen from the Fullbringer arc that they're not very well known about. The Soul Society doesn't really know much about them. It's kind of just on their own thing, and the Soul Society doesn't really care, which is an idiotic decision in my book, but whatever. But so yeah, in execution, there was never speculated to be any members before them, really. Maybe it was then that the execution members, they got their powers and they know a lot of them special. And the other people that are like them, and they get together, and then that's how execution was formed, or how the fullbringers were formed. That's my scenario. Another theory that I thought it could be would be just be really powerful souls that like got reincarnated. Like, I know, especially referencing the most recent chapter, like with the captains that die and they get put back and they get reincarnated. Ones that are not too powerful, they're reincarnated into human form, and then they die and they become a Vasto Lorde that way. That's an option, but I don't think it is, because I think if it was like that, you would get some mention of it. Like that Vasto Lorde looks a lot like that one Shinigami captain, that one Shinigami lieutenant from way back when. And there would be at least some mention of it, but there isn't, so I would say that's probably not an option, probably not one of what it could be. I think that's what it is, and that's my headcanon, that they reincarnate. There's a fly in my room doing something. He's being weird, but whatever. But yes, that's my theory on the matter, and I would love to hear y'all's theories and y'all's discussions in the comments below. By all means, guys, I want to hear them. Because I've been thinking about this theory for a long time. I don't really have anything to solidly back it up. Just kind of, in my opinion, just kind of false connections with it. That the fullbringers have the Soul King fragments inside of them, and that is confirmed in Can't Figure Your Own World. That's the part of the expanded universe, and I believe Can't Figure Your Own World is considered to be canon, I believe. So that is, to my knowledge, Can't Figure Your Own World is canon, so therefore it is mentioned that is canon, that they have the Soul King pieces inside of them. And I believe it's just like, it's considered to be the nails of the Soul King, I believe is what they're called. Or smaller fragments of him, what they're called, but I believe they're mentioned to be nails. Now, a lot of the Soul King fragments also got used by Aizen. It's also stated in the Evil Kingdom that Aizen used a lot of them to fuel his Hokuto. But whatever. That's getting off topic. Like I was saying, guys, I would love to hear y'all's theories and y'all's discussions in the comments below. By all means, please, 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 please put them down in the comments. And I promise you, I read every single comment I get. I promise. And if I think it's a really good theory, I'll make a video about it. Or I'll discuss it with you and we can talk about it. It'll be great. That being said, guys, I was Outcast Anime, and I'll see you later, my fellow Outcasts.